What up, everybody? It's your boy Adrian, and I'm back. It's been about a little over a month since I've been on here to talk about Michigan football, but I need to see what was going to happen in this next month and a half after Jim Harbaugh signed his contract extension and after National Signing Day was over. But with that being said, Jim Harbaugh had a lot of decisions to make, and so did the program. They had to revamp this coaching staff, and here's a couple notable hires and a couple of guys they switched out to see should have to make a difference on this staff. Not only did they were averaging over 60 years of age, but they're averaging in the mid 30s now. So with that being said, one of the notable hires is former star running back Mike Hart, who was a mainstay in the early 2000s with Chad Henne when Michigan was at its pinnacle and very successful to the 4 years that he was here. He's a former coach at Indiana, so let's see he can hopefully develop this talented running back room at Michigan. They had a lot of notable guys. I know he didn't call the plays at Indiana. Nick Sheridan did, but hey, we'll see what happens. Also, new tight ends coach Ron Bellamy. He was a former Michigan player, but he led West Bloomfield High School to a state championship along with one of the best players in the state of Michigan to commit this year in the 21 class, and running back Donovan Edwards, who I think will make a huge impact in his freshman year. With that being said, Ron should have the ability to help also recruit the top kids in the state of Michigan. Now, first and foremost, Michigan should always get the top kids in the state of Michigan first and foremost. You got to take care of your in-state talent, and I know we have some good talent here in the state of Michigan. Now, the biggest turnaround here was getting co-defensive coordinator Mike McDonald, former Baltimore Ravens linebacker coach at just 33 years old. He's a very good coach for that team, and we always know the Baltimore Ravens are good defensively, and they needed some juice and some energy in that. Also, we hired Maurice, let me not botch his last name, Linguist, in his mid-30s, a former player, was coaching with the Cowboys last year in the secondary. But the biggest thing that I've seen from him so far in keeping track is the ability to recruit. He's a former player who played not too long ago in the 2000s. He can recruit, and he's been showing his impact trying to go after the 2022 class and trying to make huge strides. And that all starts with five-star talent 2022, number one player in the state of Michigan, and that is cornerback Will Johnson out of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Michigan needs to land him. He put Michigan in his final three with USC and Ohio State, and he will be announcing on February 28th, a little over a week away. But Michigan, this is a huge get. They need to get him as well. I'll talk about some other guys that will come on, but I just seen this and I had to talk about this. They need to absolutely get Will Johnson because his secondary was atrocious last year. So with that being said, also announced yesterday, Ward Manuel gets a 5-year extension. I'm not surprised. Him and Jim Harbaugh are tied to the neck. So we'll see. There's big compensation and there's big, bonus boost, whatever. We'll see. We'll see what they can do. But, I'm not surprised. Another big notable announcement. Joe Milton, who started the season last year, has decided to enter the transfer portal. He got benched later in the year for Cade McNamara, who played okay. But this makes the quarterback room even clearer. With that being said, by him entering the transfer portal, we only have one guy who took snaps, and that's Cade McNamara. Also coming in my opinion, this leads the way for incoming 5-star freshman J.J. McCarthy, who committed to Michigan during his junior season. I expect him to win this job, and we'll see if he can become a star because this is Mars got a 5-star quarterback, so time will tell, and it's just going to put even more pressure on Jim Harbaugh to get the job done. But I've watched J.J. McCarthy since his sophomore year in high school. I like what I see, but we'll have to wait and see until the fall gets here. Spring practice is supposed to start Monday, so we'll see. We don't know if they're going to have a spring game, but all the freshmen, all the early enrollees are there. They're ready to go. And we got a long way to go before September 4th when we take on Western Michigan at home. With that being said, with the transfer of Joe Milton, there's a couple notable other guys. We all know Dylan McCaffrey left. He goes to Northern Arizona. Christian Turner, Zach Charbonnet, both running backs. I don't know where Christian Turner is going. Zach Charbonnet transferred back home West Coast to UCLA. Also lost Zach Carpenter, offensive lineman, went to Indiana. Luigi Villine, he committed to Wake Forest. He didn't really play. He didn't really live to the hype, so he's going to a weaker Wake Forest program. Also, linebacker Ben Van Summeren, last week he announced his transfer, and that was a huge domino effect as his brother Alex Van Summeren, a big-time recruit in the state of Michigan, decommitted from Michigan. So that was huge right there. And the punter Will Hart. So as we all know, as time goes, it's just a bunch of these times. You know, guys come and go. Some guys don't live up to the hype. Some guys aren't going to get the playing time they feel like they deserve. There's a couple of news notes. I think Maurice Linguist, like I said, will make the biggest impact on this team, along with his recruiting, because he's going to Tennessee, he's going to Texas. We got to get out of, like I said, Connecticut. We got to go get them big power states and get them to come. Some of these players to come to Michigan. And so that's a huge get, especially coming in with this 2022 class. But we need to be impactful this year on defense, and I think Dax Hill is going to be the biggest player this year coming on this defense. There's a long way to go before, like I said before, September 4th. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Another year that we're going to criticize Harbaugh and see what he can do, but that's the best thing to do. They weren't going to let him go, so you had to mix up the coaching staff. So we're going to see what's going to happen, Warrior fans. So we're a long way out from the season, but that's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to address. I'll be back at a later date. Like I always say, chase them dreams. Do what you feel like you need to do. Do not let no one tell you cannot do anything. It's your boy Adrian, and I'm out.